In the jungles of Cu Chi, every step could mean danger. For American GIs in the late 1960s, the oppressive heat and endless green were only part of the threat. The real enemy wasn't just hidden in the trees, it was beneath their boots. The ground, seemingly solid, was a facade. Below, a hidden world thrived, an entire network of resistance, just feet away from unsuspecting soldiers. Imagine the psychological strain, armed with the world's best technology, yet never knowing if the earth itself would erupt beneath you. Ambushes came from nowhere, then vanished without a trace. Even at rest, soldiers felt uneasy, sometimes hearing faint sounds below and dismissing them as tricks of the mind. In reality, a civilization was operating in darkness, plotting and surviving right underfoot. The jungle floor was riddled with concealed entrances and ventilation shafts, doorways to a hidden world or deadly traps. The enemy could strike from anywhere, then disappear underground, leaving only confusion behind. For American soldiers, the ground became an object of fear. Every step was a gamble, every patch of earth a potential threat. They were walking on the roof of their enemy's fortress, oblivious to the bustling world below. In Cu Chi, the hunter was always the hunted. Beneath the jungle, the Cu Chi tunnels formed an underground city, over 120 kilometers of interconnected life. These weren't just escape routes, they were homes, command centers, and workshops. Kitchens used hidden chimneys to disperse smoke, while field hospitals treated the wounded in cramped, candle-lit rooms. The tunnels housed everything: strategy rooms, ammunition depots, even theaters for morale. Families lived here, children learned to move silently, and life continued despite the war above. The tunnels were a sanctuary and a fortress, allowing the Viet Cong to strike and vanish. They turned American search and destroy missions into frustrating, fruitless hunts. This underground world was the nerve center of resistance, sustaining the fight by becoming one with the land. In Cu Chi, survival meant adapting to darkness and thriving in it. The Cu Chi tunnels were built by hand. No machines, just determination. Using short-handled hoes and bamboo baskets, villagers and soldiers dug through dense clay, often at night to avoid detection. What began as small shelters in the 1940s grew into a vast, multi-layered complex as the war escalated. Tunnels were kept narrow, just wide enough for a small person, making them defensible and difficult for American soldiers to enter. Disposing of soil was an art, scattered in the jungle, dumped in rivers, or used to fill bomb craters, always hidden from enemy eyes. Every detail was planned to keep the tunnels secret. The entire community participated. Men, women, even children. Digging was relentless, day and night, for years. They weren't just building tunnels, they were building survival. The earth became their shield, their home, and their weapon. No amount of bombing could destroy what was carved by sheer will. The tunnels were a testament to unity and ingenuity under fire. Life underground was a daily battle against suffocation, disease, and fear. Air was scarce, so the Viet Cong disguised ventilation shafts as termite mounds or hidden holes. The tunnels were hot, humid, and crawling with scorpions, centipedes, and disease-carrying mosquitoes. Food was basic: tapioca, rice, foraged roots, and water was precious, always at risk of contamination. Smokeless stoves filtered cooking smoke through long trenches, releasing it far from the source. Silence was survival, movement was by memory, and touch in total darkness. The tunnels were both sanctuary and prison, protection from bombs, but a world of darkness and dread. The psychological toll was immense, but resolve remained unbroken. Community and shared purpose kept hope alive. Every day spent underground was a victory of will over adversity. In the tunnels, survival was a form of resistance. For Americans, finding the tunnels was only the beginning. Clearing them was a nightmare. Enter the tunnel rats, small, brave volunteers armed with a pistol, knife, and flashlight. They crawled into darkness, facing booby traps, punji sticks, and venomous snakes. The Viet Cong engineered deadly surprises, tripwires, false tunnels, and ambushes in pitch black. Every inch was a potential death trap. A single mistake could be fatal. Claustrophobia, lack of oxygen, and disorientation haunted every mission. The Viet Cong knew every twist. Americans were lost in a hostile maze. Many tunnel rats suffered lasting trauma from their harrowing experiences. They fought an enemy who had turned the earth itself into a weapon. The Cu Chi tunnels were the ultimate guerrilla weapon, neutralizing American firepower and air superiority. While bombers devastated the surface, the Viet Cong remained safe below, ready to strike at will. The tunnels let them choose the time and place of battle, then vanish before a counterattack. Supplies and troops moved undetected, creating the illusion of an invisible, omnipresent force. The tunnels multiplied the Viet Cong's strength, allowing them to outlast a superpower. Underground command centers coordinated attacks and logistics, connecting villages in a secret network. The Americans controlled the skies, the Viet Cong controlled the earth beneath. The tunnels embodied David versus Goliath, low-tech solutions to high-tech threats. By refusing to fight on American terms, the Viet Cong turned the war into a battle of endurance. The tunnels proved that deep knowledge of the land and sheer will could defy even the most powerful enemy. Today, the Cu Chi tunnels are a tourist site, widened and lit for visitors, but the real tunnels were dark, suffocating, and filled with fear, not adventure. They are a dual legacy, a marvel of guerrilla engineering and a somber memorial to suffering and sacrifice. The tunnels symbolize Vietnamese resilience and the power of ingenuity under pressure. They show how a determined people can endure and prevail against overwhelming odds. The true story is not about the glory of war, but the strength to survive it. The tunnels are a monument to perseverance, not conquest. They teach that the will to endure can outlast any weapon. The legacy of Cu Chi is etched in Vietnam's soil, a story of survival, identity, and freedom. In the end, the tunnels remind us, even in darkness, the human spirit can find a way.